Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Irish Uncensored. I'm here as always with my buddy Grant. How you doing, man?
Post USC week with a dub, baby. That's all you can
Yeah,
ask for.
that's all we wanted. So we'll be right back after this. As always, you can find us on the Irish Uncensored Facebook page, and we would love if you'd like and subscribe so you can hear our outlandish rants about Notre Dame, according to some people. We're also on Twitter. If you can go find us there, we do some polls and different things. We retweet some stuff, and it's just a good time. So, Grant, let's get into the game. I feel like we basically called it, but we'll go. Let's break the game down. So we started off the game with the ball. We moved it down the field,
With
no
ease.
fucking problem,
With ease.
and then missed the field goal.
In the most true ND fashion.
Yeah,
It's almost like he's gonna miss this. No way.
we've struggled all year to like get going early, and then we finally get going early, and we don't score. It was so disappointing.
Dude, it is beyond frustrating. But we moved the ball well. I'm not gonna complain.
Yep.
We moved the ball so well that first drive.
And then we punt it. Oh no, we don't punt it. They get the ball and then they go 3 and out. And then we get it back and we move the ball right fucking back down the field, 70 yards for a touchdown. We had a couple passes from Buckner, I think, in that one. A couple from Cone. Kyron had some beast mode fucking runs. The whole game, really.
Yeah, he had his best game this season. I mean,
Because we're blocking.
What was going on? Yeah, it was a combination of everything good that was going on with the whole team. Like, I mean, a lot of things went right.
Yeah, we've shit on the O line all year, so I want to give a shout out to the O line. We looked like a different team. We were consistent. Like there was a point where we gave up a sack, and I even said to Grant during the game, I was like, "That's fine. We're not going to go perfect every game. If we give up a couple sacks a game, it's just not constant pressure. So much better."
It was, and some of it was like Cone. Like, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but like when Cone would he'd get the ball in the shotgun and he wouldn't drop from where he got the ball. So he got the ball and he would turn and he would throw. And it was like just really up tempo, no deep drops, just like this is where you need to be. Just stand in the middle of the pocket, Jack, and just let the ball go. And that's what he did for the most part.
Yep. And then after that, USC got the ball. They moved the ball down the field, basically passing to Drake London.
Oh, my God.
Who is a fucking monster and a half. He's huge, fast, has moves, has hands. He's tough to tackle. He is everything. He's an NFL receiver if I've ever seen one.
He is a monster. I mean, I don't even know what to say about him besides wow. I mean,
yeah. You know who he reminds me of? Maybe not exactly because he was such a god, but Megatron.
Yeah.
Like he has those kind of features. He just can do everything. He could burn you. He could run you over. Like he's got it all, the complete package. And I'd say if the USC didn't have him, they might have got shut out.
Yeah, he definitely was the thing that made their offense go. I mean, they targeted him a ton, and those targets would have went somewhere else. But at the end of the day, like there was nothing we could do. We pretty much had to say, hey, how can we prevent their offense from just completely blowing us up? And that was like he can get as many catches as he wants. He just can't burn us deep and have 2 or 3 touchdowns. That was pretty much it. And he didn't. He didn't score.
So after they moved the ball down the field, we picked it off and ran it back to the 4-yard line. And then we fucking kick a field goal out of that on 1st and 4 from on goal. Like, man, we still have a lot of learning to do. I don't know why, but we can't punch it in when we should punch it in. We also had some questionable ass fucking play calling in a few situations. I think we're improving, but we still have more improvement to make.
Positive steps, but exactly. I mean, like we come out in heavy sets and we haven't been good in heavy sets all year.
No.
We come out in heavy sets. Like, I don't get it. Like, what do you want from us? You know, I mean, like, wait, run what works. We just move the ball all the way down the field. Stop doing that. You're killing drives.
Yep.
Killing them.
So then they get the ball, they drive down, and they kick a field goal. So that was like their second decent drive, but this time they actually got a field goal out of it. And then we get the ball back, and basically Kyron goes crazy, and we score a touchdown. I don't remember who. Oh, yeah. Kyron scored the touchdown, too. Mayer had a nice catch in there. Yeah, it basically was just a great drive. Basically, to end the half, they got it back. They moved the ball, but they didn't get any points. 17-3 at half, our lead. And it could like we should have scored a field goal on the opening drive.
Minimum.
We scored a field goal when we had it on the 4. So that's minus 4 more points. So like that's already 7 points on the table right there.
Yeah.
It could be like 24-3.
Right.
And obviously it's hard to count up every point you don't score, but when we're talking about putting a team away, especially a rival, you gotta like capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the first drive, like we didn't get a touchdown, and it was 100% Kevin Austin. He dropped that ball, hit him in the hands, like both hands. Like, dude, you have to catch that ball. Like we have struggled to get this going all year. You have to catch it. You can't drop that ball. Hands down, Jack Cohn's best half of football. First half. I mean,
yep.
Am I, are we missing anything from that? Like that was his best half.
It's kind of what we've said all year. It's like if we gave him time, he could be a decent quarterback. And we did. We gave him time and he played well. Buckner came in for a very short amount of time too, and he played well. Like we looked like a different team than like even 6 weeks ago.
Oh, absolutely. And so like we're up 17-3 going in halftime, and the halftime break is brought to you by G Money, GEE Money on YouTube. He said we went 5-4 in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten got to play that beautiful masterpiece of a 9 overtime game between Illinois and Penn State. And I know what you're thinking, but it was 20-18 at the end of all that. So shout out G Money, Big Ten, big ass, and we're going to keep it moving into the third quarter.
Yeah, well, we may come back to that later, but we'll just move on. So they get the ball at half, per usual, per the last 10 years. And they move it down and they miss a field goal. Basically, not a lot happens in the third quarter. Per usual, again, for us. Like we just, for some reason, our third quarters have been pretty underwhelming. We have a punt. They have a punt. We did get a touchdown. And I think it was another Kyron, or no, it was a Sebo Flemister touchdown, but Kyron moved the ball down the field. We had a nice one to Michael Mayer, a couple penalties. So, yeah, Kyron had a 38-yard run on that drive. That was a beast-ass fucking run.
Yeah.
Then I
just wish I could take Kyron's attitude and put it in every player.
Oh yeah, we could really go into Kyron is becoming one of my all-time favorite Notre Dame players. He'll get punched at the line and gain no yards, and he'll stand up and like just talk shit. Like I'm coming for you next time, motherfucker. I don't know what he's saying, but that's what I'm getting. That's the vibe he gives off. I fucking love him. He is just a badass, man. Yeah, especially awesome. For Notre Dame, we don't get players like that very often. You know?
No, it's rare. It's a rare breed. Rare breed.
So sure. Then they end up scoring a touchdown, and then we throw a pick. So we're now up 24-16. And now I'm a little bit scared because somehow it's a one possession game when we should just be smacking the shit out of this garbage ass team. Then we get the ball back and we drive down and kick a field goal, and they fumble it and it's game over. So basically, to sum up, Kyron looked amazing. Our offense looked amazing. Our defense played really well when we didn't have 3 down linemen per usual. Again, it sucked when what's his name got hurt.
Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton. That's awful, and I know he's already out for next week too.
Yeah, they tried to play it off like it wasn't that big of a deal, no structural damage, just how he went down. I was like, well, he's out at least a few weeks, I figured. I mean, miss the rest of that game, all of next. For them to rule him out that early in the week tells me that he's probably going to miss at least one more game, in my opinion. If you're going to rule somebody out at the beginning of the week, that means they're nowhere near playing.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it means. But, I mean, the big keys for me from this game, I mean, we were without Chris Tyree, big piece of our offense. Well, big piece in the sense of like his threat ability.
Mm-hmm.
Kyron showed up big. Diggs played, well when he was in there. Defensive line wise, I don't understand why we're in 3 down as much as we are, but I think this game was
In my opinion, ever.
Yeah, the justification behind this game was I think that Freeman wanted USC to just run the ball. If they ran the ball 28 times, which is significantly more than they average, I believe. And I think Freeman just wanted them to run it. They're like, I dare you to run the ball against us. Like, just run it, and I'm good with that. And that's what they wanted, and that's what USC did. And ultimately, they had decent success, on the ground.
Yeah, they definitely had. They had one guy that had a bunch of yards, 138 from Ingram.
Yep, he's a transfer from Texas.
Yep.
He did great, and good for him. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, we just helped a team that's pretty offensively potent to 16 points. So it's hard to, complain.
Yeah, and London had like 1,000 targets, over 170 yards. He could have had even more. It was. He is a fucking monster. They still suck though. USC is terrible. They probably go like 8-4 in the Big Ten.
At least 8-4 in the Big Ten. Yeah, I loved so many pieces of this game, and it felt like a relatively uneventful game in comparison to like other games that we've had, just because I think like we felt like we were in control the entire game from start to finish. Like, I was never like, oh no, this game is like in peril. Like, we're going to lose this game, or we're going to have trouble here or there. Like, I never felt like that was what was going to happen. So
this is a weird post game for us, because I feel like I've been very complainy this year and very critical of a lot of things. I still think we have plenty of room for improvement, but this was by far the best game we've played, just top to bottom. We gave up plays to a player that's a guaranteed NFL player, and we played it great defensively, barely gave up points, and we played great offensively. Didn't give up many sacks. I think it was 1.
Yeah, give me just 1 second, Tyler.
Yep. So it really was just like a great game overall, and I expect Notre Dame to come out next week and be really strong. Who do we have next week? It's
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina. They're not very good. So we should handle them too. We'll get into that in the pregame, but I don't think USC is very good. I don't know if this says a whole lot about us as a team, because I don't think they're very good, but it is nice to see us just go out and handle business.
Yeah. And we could have won by more. Like, it's another beauty to the team is like, you're continuing to win games and still feeling like we're nowhere near our ceiling. Like, we have yet to play. Like, I would call this, if I was given it a grade, our B plus ish, because I felt like the defensive performance were solid, especially considering when we lost Kyle Hamilton. B plus ish, and maybe not even, maybe a B. And we are nowhere near our peak yet. Like, our offense is still leaving points on the field. I think we did a great job overall offensively. I'm not going to complain about that game. Jack Cohn, I mean, we've been critical of you, Concrete Shoes, but they finally figured it out, it seems, as to what you're good at behind our O-line. So hopefully we can keep that momentum rolling into, next week, and hopefully continue that spread up tempo that Jack Cohn appears to do so well in. I didn't feel like, I even said during the game, I didn't like where they inserted Tyler Buckner. because
Yeah,
it felt
you
like
did.
Cone was in rhythm. Like Cone's
Hmm.
finally in rhythm. Like he didn't fuck up. Like let's not put Buckner in. Let's keep rolling with Cone. I understand everything Buckner brings to the table, but if you got a guy in rhythm who's driving you down the field 70 yards consecutive possessions, don't pull him. But I will say that instead of leaving Buckner out there like they have in the past, at least the last game, they put Cone right back in. A play or two, here's back to Cone. So, I mean, all in all, it worked out. I just didn't necessarily agree with where they put Buckner in when Cone was in rhythm.
Yeah, I can understand that. And luckily Buckner did do well, so it didn't end up being like really even an event to talk about. But it could have been. It could have been. But I think if we continue on this trajectory, we should win out. I was a little worried
Yeah.
before, but I don't think we're going to get beat if we play like this week in and week out. And I think we have a lot to improve on, even with Kyle Hamilton out. Let's say he's out the rest of the year and they're just safe with him.
Mhm.
We still looked great on defense. I think it's going to be a huge loss. No way around that, but we
Yeah.
just looked good.
Yeah. I mean, we don't forget we didn't have Kyle Hamilton for the second half of North Carolina last year. And
Mhm.
that was a way scarier North Carolina team to not have Kyle Hamilton on. So, I mean, I think our guys are going to step up. We're making plays. We've got freshmen all over. How nice is it to see freshmen? I mean,
Yep.
I'm talking Lorenzo Styles, Deion Colsey, Joe Alt, Logan Diggs. How nice is it to just see freshmen all over the field making big plays? Lorenzo Styles played so much. I
Yeah,
mean,
we've never been a team to play a lot of freshmen and use them well.
right. Use them well is the key there. We've
Hmm.
always had talented freshmen. We just haven't used them correctly. But this year seems different. I don't know if that's out of necessity because it feels out of necessity, especially on the O line. But skill position wise, a receiver, it's nice to see some guys that are different making plays.
I'd love to see a game where we just have either 4 down linemen the whole game, or we have 3 down linemen and a linebacker on the line of scrimmage. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to see 3 men rushes anymore, and I don't want to see 3 man rushes with a linebacker coming late because that doesn't work for us either. When we're so strong, it's like taking one of our best strengths and like weakening it for God knows what reason.
Well, not to mention that the guy usually off the line of scrimmage is Isaiah Foskey, who's hands down our best pass rusher. Uh,
Hmm.
and if it's not him, it's Justin Admiola, and he's also one of our best pass rushers. So it's like you're taking a guy who should be starting at the line of scrimmage, scooting him back 3 to 4 yards, and blitzing him late. They also, I'm not going to call them worthless in pass coverage, but like it's not the best.
That's not what they do.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how else to say it. Like I get you're trying to mix it up. I get that you come from like a 3-3-5 or whatever 3-3-5 that you ran at Cincinnati, but like I think if there's anything it's proven is that people get chunk plays and gash us in 3-3-5. At
Yep.
least like you said, put the linebacker down the line of scrimmage. It makes it look neater. And Foskey can get off the ball.
Yeah, we're better at it. Like we rush the quarterback so well. Even when we're not, like if they're running the ball, we just get pressure. It's we're a beast of a team on the D line.
Yeah,
Like underrated big time.
I would say so.
But
Definitely
we
underrated.
kind of give that away too when we do that. If we're an underrated strong defensive line team and don't use it to our like greatest ability, then we're not. So
Right.
stop taking that away.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, it worked out. Foskey had 2 sack fumbles, like,
Oh
but
God, yeah.
imagine what would have happened if he's on the line every play. Or
Exactly. We still played great. It's just when you play at an A and you know you could play at like an A plus plus, like our ceiling for defensive line is past an A plus, and we
yeah,
haven't utilized it yet. And it's been all coaching. It has nothing to do with them.
right. Yep, I agree. And I mean, ultimately, this was probably our best win as far as we looked the best collectively through the
Yeah.
entire game. Offensively and defensively together, we looked like we knew what the hell was going on. We looked like we could put it together where defense would get a stop and offense would go score. It hasn't happened all year, and it looks like it's starting to happen. So hopefully, it looks like the bye week did us good, and we can continue to roll through. Because, like you said, North Carolina this week, I think Navy the week following, Virginia on the back end, and Stanford on the back end of that. So it's like there's some tough games still out there. I think Virginia and Stanford are a little underrated. Stanford beat Oregon. I mean, they've got to be decent. So
Yeah. Stanford's always good. I mean, really, North Carolina's probably going to be all right too. I think they're probably going to be similar to USC, better, but similar.
yeah, I just hope, like you said, 11-1. You never know. College football's crazy. Maybe we sneak into the playoff. Maybe we don't. I'd still lean towards this very, 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 very long shot to make the playoff.
Yeah, I said teams are going to lose. Like I predicted this as soon as we lost. Teams are going to lose. We're going to move up. Our highest is 6, and on a long shot, we'll hit number 5. Like I think we have a 0% chance of making the playoff. 0.
As much as it pains me, we need Cincinnati to keep winning. We need them to handle their cupcake.
I strongly disagree with that.
Because
if Georgia's in and Cincinnati wins out, that's 2 win. We need them to lose so we can possibly get up. Because an early season loss always is okay to the people that put in teams.
If they lose, they're not going to put us in over them. They're going to pick.
If they win, they're not going to put us in over them either. No, so it makes no difference. Win or loss, they're ahead of us. We need them to lose.
Over them.
I disagree. If they lose to some trash team, we could jump them with our improvement on the end of the season. Definitely. Because that's how it goes with college football. Earlier season losses end up meaning nothing for some reason because people don't understand wins and losses. I agree we shouldn't jump them, but that's not how college football works.
Yeah, no, I understand that aspect. I just think that our loss looks better with them. I'm more saying that our chance to make the playoff stems from other people losing rather than them. Because if they lose, okay, let's just say they win out, we may have the best loss in college football based on statistics. Besides if Georgia runs the table, I mean, we may have the best loss. So
yeah, but that I still don't think that's going to make a difference. We're going to finish like 5 or 6, basically, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't think we're making it, but hopefully at least shooting for New Year's 6.
Yeah, we should get that as long as we went out. But, I mean, really, it's just game by game. As long as we can keep improving, other teams are going to lose. We had some big teams lose this past weekend. Of course, some of them were in the Big Ten, and so they don't really matter anyway. But
right.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Ten.
Big Ten, hilarious. What was the guy in the comment section saying last week about the Big Ten?
5-4 in the Big Ten this year, and
yeah,
just how bad we are and how good they are.
Yeah, Grant's lagged out, but I can agree with how we haven't played well.
Half the Big Ten.
Oh, he's coming back. There you go. What were you saying, Grant?
I was saying that we beat the 2 Big Ten teams we played. One of those teams beat the second best team in the Big Ten. It's just like one of those things where like common opponent makes us how good. And because Iowa at that point had beaten Penn State. I'm not afraid of Michigan State. The only 2 teams I could see us losing to this year is Ohio State and maybe Michigan. Maybe. Big maybe. Mm-hmm. But that's more like if we don't play to our potential, but we haven't been. So.
We haven't been, but hopefully if we got them in the second half, who knows? Because now it looks like maybe we are going to find that finally.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, I mean, his comments were just completely outlandish. 5-4 in the Big Ten. Fuck out of here. You guys beat up on nobody, Big Ten team. And then it all end up 6 or 7-0, and then you all end up with 2 or 3 losses because you actually play someone who's worth a fuck.
And then they at least typically get smashed in the playoff. Not the playoff, the extra game.
Yeah,
bowl games.
outside of Ohio State, Notre Dame's had more success in the last 10 years than everyone in the Big Ten put together.
Yep.
I mean, it's just the truth. We played for a national championship. We made the playoff twice. I mean, fuck, we didn't win it, but we were there and we went undefeated. And we did what we were supposed to do. 2 of those years, the one with the one loss, but collectively outside of Ohio State, the Big Ten has been big shit for the last decade.
Yep.
It's just a fact. I mean, they can debate it all they want, but it's true.
I don't think they'll ever be shit. It's going to take like a whole new thing. Just the Penn State game alone. Look at that score for 9 overtimes.
20-18.
That's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen in my life.
20-18.
If they won that game, they should have moved down like 5 spots.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah, and that's the number 7 team. That's Illinois on the road in Happy Valley. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Big Ten?
Yeah, that's who they're hanging their hat on this year.
Yeah, well, it's number 7.
And then we already saw Iowa. We already knew Iowa was trash.
It's the same thing as like most of the basketball in the Big Ten. They play shit offense and call it good defense, and then when they play somebody who's actually good, they run into a buzzsaw and they just get murdered.
Yeah, well, basketball, at least they seem to be pretty good defensively.
Yeah, their Big Ten basketball is significantly better than Big Ten football.
Yeah, I think it's a very different thing for them. I do think Big Ten defense in basketball is pretty good.
Yeah, they're better. I'm just you know how it is.
It is. It's the same thing. Yeah.
This is what it is.
Well, that'll basically do it. We'll be back with our pregame for North Carolina. But make sure you go check us out on the Facebook page and like and subscribe. And if you dislike this, make sure you smash that dislike. And then we are also on Twitter, like we said earlier. But hopefully you guys will enjoy this and we'll come back for more. And as always, go Irish.
Go Irish.